Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
And today we're talking about how and why to repurpose your content.
But first, let's hear from our sponsors. We know how hard it is to juggle all the things in your business, accounts, meetings, and the never-ending inbox. That's why we've teamed up with Agorapulse to give you more than 5 hours back a week when it comes to managing your social media marketing. No more complicated Excel docs, long emails, or millions of open tabs. Simply manage all of your social media channels in one place. Go to agorapulse.com/Monday Morning Marketing to get 1 month free. Now all you have to do is figure out how you want to spend those spare 5 hours.
Maybe by repurposing your content. So content is your blog, for example.
That's
write a blog.
One of the places you start from.
Yeah. So you write so let's start from there. Yeah. You write a blog. It takes hours of research, hours of writing, editing, and everything else. But once the blog is out there, it's not the last place that it should be left to die. It's not just one and done. Okay. So some examples of ways to repurpose your blog would be,
well, you could create a podcast out of that blog.
You could. Little tidbits, little snippets of your blog in an audio. That's not what we do. No, we don't do that.
No. Although it's a good idea. We should start.
Yeah, you blog more than I do. So maybe I should start with blogging. Anyway.
Then you can do infographics.
Yes, everybody loves a good infographic. Just lots of information in one place without having to read down through all the keywords.
I knew you were picture orientated.
Really do love it. I do love reading though too. Another place you could turn it into a video. Either if you want to do a live stream and just not read it out, but summarize it. And then you could then add that video summary to the top of your blog so that people could just listen to the video or watch the video and not read the blog, or both. Or you could record it like I would probably do, and then edit, and then never have anybody ever watch it. No, I'm joking.
You'd create the video, edit, then get rid of the video, recast somebody else in it.
Yes. Exactly. Actually, if you do go to ipagroup.co and go to our blogs, it is not me that is in the video for the blogs in English. It's not. And I'm not even doing the ones in Spanish either. It's another team member because I have other things to do. But it is a very good way. Another thing, yes.
Ebooks
and PDFs, downloads. Yeah. Brilliant ways to do it. Always have a call to action on your blog, on all of your content that you have there. Summary. So the summary can go out onto other blogs. You could modify it and change it up and then post it as a guest post on somebody else's blog.
Get valuable backlinks to your website.
Exactly.
Is another way.
Bonus.
But if your content is so useful and valuable and you've written a blog and it's maybe a how-to or something, you might want to turn that into a course, which is also a different way of delivering the same content.
Yeah. And you don't have to start with the blog. You could start with the podcast. And the podcast can be turned into show notes and then a blog. And then images and everything else.
If you can't be, because you're terrified of doing the old video, right?
I know, I really am.
But you are happy to speak at events, which is weird.
I know, right? But nobody's recording me at the event. Nobody else outside that room will see it.
Nobody you see is recording you. Put it that way.
Okay. Maybe I don't want to speak at events anymore. No. But you can turn your content into valuable speaking engagements that gets you recognized around the world or in your local community or, and numerous other places. Share it. Okay. Share your blog, share your podcast across all your different platforms, your social media, using Agorapulse, obviously. and share it into groups. Groups are a great place to share your content.
Got
and
LinkedIn
share
groups,
your link.
Facebook groups.
Yeah, join communities. We're talking next week to Lucy Hall about her community. Join a community and share your information, not as a way to get people to buy from you, but as a way to provide extra resources and value to the group.
There's a couple of other things that we need to mention as well, because what we've been doing is all quite affordable and quite achievable, in fairness.
Yeah.
But there is slightly higher ticket value things that we can also mention, and they're not massively unreachable. It is possible for a medium-sized business to do it. But so TV would be one, and radio, and then national and local newspaper.
I would never have thought of those. I would never have thought of, your content on a podcast. Duh. It's too early in the morning, guys. I mean, it's Monday. It's a morning, I really shouldn't have agreed to do a Monday morning podcast. But how, explain this to me, because I'm probably not the only one who hasn't thought about radio and TV and things like that.
Well, I've never actually done TV myself, but I've been in local press and on the radio. They're always looking for new suggestions for guests, and you just need to pitch your business or know somebody who can help you pitch it to the radio station, to the TV station. There's nationwide here in Ireland. In each country there'll be sort of a community orientated TV channel that may be able to look at the location you're in and have a guest in. And nationwide here in the Republic of Ireland does that. But then you've got the local radio stations, and okay, it may not be as wide as you'd like, but it's an area that you could actually achievably reach and affordably reach. It doesn't cost that much, in fairness. And then national press and local press, even easier. You just need to learn the art of press releases.
Yeah, but it's not, okay, for that one, for the newspaper, it's not just press releases and ads. You can actually get an interview put in to the newspaper. Melanie and I are part of a group called Women's Inspire Network. We have mentioned it before. And in there, a lot of people would come in and ask for information and ask for, is anybody going through this right now? Has anybody started their business during the pandemic? Has anybody had to work from home while, homeschooling as well? So you could get your business in front of a wider audience with that as well. And that one wouldn't cost you any money.
No.
You just have to know. And there's a hashtag on Twitter, isn't there? Journo requests.
Journo requests would be a really good way as well of responding to the journalists. So it might be worth, getting yourself a Twitter account and scanning. That's not just a UK or Irish thing either. Journo request is, internationally known in each language. So, do check out your location as well.
Yeah. Okay. So we have our blog, and for Melanie and I both use this platform for sending out our blog at scheduled intervals. We would use Missing Letter because it takes the hassle out of having to think what caption to put above it. It'll pull over the image from your blog. It's great. There are automated tools that can turn your blog into an audio if you don't want to sit down and use a tool like Anchor and talk into it. Content 10x can
Ian
repurpose
Anderson
your content.
Gray. He uses that, and he's a big fan of Content 10x. But there's Play HT as well.
Yeah.
There's, we use Anchor and Audacity for our podcast.
Yeah.
Agora Pulse, of course, for all of our social media scheduling, reporting, keeping up in contact with our followers and influencers.
Yeah.
Canva, we use that for all of our images. And, if you can do the Canva Pro, it gives you video and music that you can also utilize as well.
Yeah. Melanie uses Canva. I don't. But we would use InVideo here at IPA Group to turn information into videos. And there are so many tools out there, guys. We're just mentioning a few that we know and love and have used. But do your research, do your homework, because that blog post or that podcast or that speaking event shouldn't just be left as a one-off.
Yeah. If you're going to leave it, if you're going to create some content, try and make it as far as possible, as evergreen as possible. We've mentioned the pandemic, and that's probably going to be around for another year, possibly, and maybe even longer. But once that is over, this podcast won't be as relevant because it won't be pandemic. Try and keep this kind of stuff you're putting on Missing Letter and that you're repurposing on different platforms as evergreen as possible.
Yeah, exactly. If you have any questions for us or any comments, or would like us to explain more about how or where you can repurpose your content, then get in touch. Did we actually mention why you should do it?
Well,
it's good for you.
Well, yeah, your audience picks it up in different ways. Okay, Some people listen, some people watch, some people look at pretty pictures like Esther.
Yes.
And sometimes this is a way of clustering your marketing, and people feel like, oh, I heard about that, I listened to that on a podcast, and then they'll see it in a video a week later, and then they'll pick up the local paper and they'll see it there as well. And so you seem to be everywhere all at once.
That's a scary thought.
So that's all we've got time for today. But just before I finish, I just want to remind everybody, we've only spoken about the ones that we've used, all the platforms that we've used. We're not sponsored by anybody other than by Agorapulse. So, we're not advocating for them particularly other than Agorapulse.
Okay, Melanie, we get it. We love Agorapulse.
We love Agorapulse.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week, like I said, with Lucy Hall, talking about building communities online, and hopefully you can join us then as well. Bye-bye.